I haven't seen Evil Dead 2 yet. What would you think?
I'd think that you're a cinematic idiot, and I'd feel sorry for you.
All right. Why?
Because it's a brilliant film. It's so funny and violent, and the soundtrack kicks fucking ass. I never thought I'd say this, but can I go work now?
Welcome to yet another episode of What the Hell Did We Just Watch? I'm your host as always, Luis Vargas, the Lumotional Luis Vargas. That's what it is. Let's use that from now on. Hashtag Lumotional. The Lumotional. Luis Vargas. And I'm here with my co-host for the day.
The not so good looking John.
Damn, yo, I love it. You making consistencies, man.
Yep,
You're here every week.
That's right.
You must have something to say. You must have a lot to say.
I have a lot.
Now, today is going to be another Real Talk episode. Mm-hmm. And the reason I actually bumped up, we were supposed to watch a film. That didn't happen because earlier this week, there was some Star Wars news that was released earlier this week. Oh, and it was by the actor Adam Driver, the one that currently plays Kylo Ren.
Was it IGN that posted it?
IGN posted it, but I also saw it from other news feeds. They weren't the only ones that are posted it. So it is a legit article, meaning it's quoted by Adam Driver, and I couldn't be more fucking upset about it.
I know.
And the thing that makes this conversation very interesting is because though you don't know this about me, but I am a huge Star Wars fan. Huge. Mm-hmm. And I am a George Lucas purist. I love George Lucas. Yes, I love all 6 Star Wars movies, outside of the new trilogy that's coming out now. I am a huge fan of all 6 films because I am a George Lucas. I love his work. I love how he makes his work. I understand how he makes his works, and that's why I don't have a problem with this. Yes, I see that there's this Jar Jar thing, and people need to just calm the fuck down. I've seen more annoying characters, I'm gonna be honest with you. But yes, I'm not saying he's not annoying. Yes, he is. But, on the whole, George Lucas's intentions were good, and I understand what he was making. John, do you have anything to rebuke with that?
The first one, though?
I got you. I understand that. I understand that. But let me ask you this. Can you tell me, outside of Jar Jar Binks, is episode 1 bad?
No, episode 1 is actually not that bad, but I do consider it the worst one out of all 6.
I can agree with you that it was the worst one ever. They're not all amazing.
The only thing that justifies 1 for me is that fighting scene with Darth Maul at the end.
Yeah, Darth Maul does save that film.
But also I too am a very huge Star Wars fan.
Yeah, that's why I have you here.
I read the novels. I even watched the TV shows. Not to sound like a kid or anything, but I have my shows that I have to sit down, have my bowl of cereal like a little kid and watch, and watch my stuff,
Is that how you watch Star Wars Rebels?
No, I actually have to watch it on my phone.
On your phone? You don't have cable at home? What the fuck?
No, I don't have cable at home.
Oh, the blasphemy, man. Yeah, but at least you get to watch it. It's good. The show's great.
And I know I do watch it. But
no. I'm just saying, just saying that you do watch.
Rebels is starting to get.
Yeah, it's especially now. Oh. I heard that they're making him older. Ezra is older. Some time has passed. I seen.
Did you see the trailer?
Pictures. I saw. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like, holy shit, man, he's grown and things are getting a little bit more serious.
They're bringing Thrawn in.
Yeah. I was like, holy shit, man. Like,
I can't wait.
It goes to show us like what's canon, what's like things are like. I remember it was a big deal when the second they said his name and they showed him on screen. So like I'm very happy about that. I'm very happy where Disney's taking it. Yeah. They have a good head on their shoulders. I'm gonna give them that. You know what I'm saying? And they're doing things in good faith in terms of like the future of the franchise.
Yeah.
So I dig it. I dig it a lot. But this is where. The thing that upsets me is back to where this article about Adam Driver, and he released an article, and he said that episode 8 is the same. It kind of mirrors The Empire Strikes Back. That's what he says. But he also said in his defense, not in the way that you think. And I was like, okay, whatever, I get it. But it pissed me the fuck off.
Now, okay, I could see why you're mad, but at the same time, did he word for word say it mirrors, or was he talking about the tone of the?
He says the tone, but I'm gonna get the tone. What I'm trying to say is the tone is the same thing. Meaning, this is what he means by tone. He means that it's gonna be a darker film.
Yes.
As episode 5 was.
Yes.
That means we're gonna get a training sequence as episode 5 was.
That kind of was already.
It was given, but you're also kind of telling me we're gonna do the exact same thing. It's gonna be like half movie training, half movie. Something tells me it's just gonna be a chase sequence the entire movie, like as it was as they were chasing the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like half training, half chase sequence until the very end where it wraps up.
I don't want to think that though.
I don't want to think it, but and that's the reason why we're having this conversation.
Yeah.
Because yes, we can't predict the future. We're not predicting the future here.
Yeah.
This is just an impression, basically based on the news and how do we feel about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like how we feel about the news that's coming out as it slowly is coming out. And the reason why we're having this conversation in terms of tone is because after episode 7, then we saw it, we liked it, it was great. But this was actually what my issue was with it. You weren't with me when I saw it. I was with my cousin, I was with my girlfriend, we saw the movie, and I don't know if I was the only one that thought this, but when I walked out, I was like, okay, we mildly saw a remake of episode 4. I'm willing to let that slide because it's their first movie. They're trying to get people back from the ones that they lost. I'm not oblivious. I know people left. These quote-unquote haters of Star Wars that only, love the original trilogy and don't think that episode 1, 2, and 3 don't exist. I'm not here to argue with you. Like whichever Star Wars you want. If you tell me that episode 2 and 6 were your favorite and you don't watch any of the other ones, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? So... what I'm here trying to say is that after episode 7 came out, I liked it. I love the new characters. But in a show, any Star Wars fan could see we got episode 4 again. You know what I mean? With the changing of gender, even when they had to go save the day, they still did it the exact same way. And it was just like, holy shit, man. There was even a death. It was like literally it mirrors itself. So even in tone... Though the tone of 7 was not the same as episode 4,
right?
But those moments happen. It was a little slightly darker. It was a little light in the beginning, but then it just slowly darkens itself a little bit. It gets a little bit more serious.
Yeah.
And the only thing that's literally original, I feel, in episode 7 is the character of this guy, the ex-stormtrooper, Finn.
Yeah, Finn.
He, I feel, is the most original character. Why? Because he comes from being a soldier and who kind of turns. There isn't anyone really like that in episode 4. He is the character that I love the most in that entire film. In terms of the new characters, obviously, is what I'm talking about. Finn, I think he was the only thing that was a breath of fresh air in the series.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What
do you think?
No, you're absolutely right about everything. I'm not saying you're wrong.
No. I'm just
At the same time, I don't want to think that Empire Strikes Back. The new episode 8 is going to be a mirror of Empire Strikes Back. Like I think that the tone, yes, is going to be mirrored. As in, like I took it like this, as if now the Sith. Or whatever I forgot what they called it.
The First Order.
The First Order.
Yeah,
the First Order is gonna make a big comeback now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they in a way the First Order strikes back.
Yeah, pretty much the First Order strikes back.
And that's totally fine.
Yeah,
I totally get that. The part that I'm not hoping that I hope I'm wrong about it is that like The Force Awakens, the beats are exactly in the same area in the film of Episode 4. Like if you kind of like play both movies together, I feel like those certain important parts of the movie, they come at almost around the same time as episode 4 did. And I'm scared that this new episode 8 will do the exact same thing.
But you see, like, now this is where Disney can't go wrong because they have so much material when it comes to ideas. Do you like there are a lot a lot of Star Wars books out there, and I only read maybe like a couple. And there's like around 200.
Even more than that. There were books even before we were born.
Yeah, so it's like the possibilities are endless. Like they can't just keep going from movie, thinking that us fans are not going to notice that you're pretty much using recycled material at this point. You know,
I'm speaking as the hardcore movie lover of these, the franchise.
Yeah.
I'm speaking in behalf of us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, hey man, that was great. Episode 7 was awesome. But I did walk out of it saying, hey, I noticed that it's a bit of a remake. I'll let you slide because, whatever. But I hope you don't continue. I said that to myself is what I'm saying.
But like, for example, like, come on, like the Star Killer bait, like you made to tell me
you couldn't come up with something a little bit more.
You know what I'm saying? The fact that you took Star Killer, like, come on, he was such a cool character.
What's kind of sad is that them doing that, Star Killer now does not exist in the
it's
universe
gone.
anymore.
I mean, unless if they take the character and rename him, but other than that,
they could do that.
He was my favorite Jedi.
Yeah, he was definitely one of those like
Jedi.
outside of the movies fan favorite.
Yeah, like he's definitely one of I was a fan favorite of him. Like
even like that bounty hunter from Shadow of the Empire from the N64 game. I was a big fan of that character too. You know what I mean? And like outside of like, because you can always like a Jedi, you can like a Sith, but sometimes I really like those non-Jedi. Like the Han Solo made that. You know what I mean? I like the Han Solos. I like the Boba Fett's. You know what I mean? Things like I like reading about those kind of characters myself.
Especially like the whole thing about Boba Fett. Like, he's not dead.
Yeah, I mean, I think like, Disney actually came out and said that he did not die.
Like so if they don't put him in this next one, I'm gonna be pissed. You know what I'm saying?
You know what would be crazy if he does make some kind of an appearance where he is Boba Fett, meaning like you know, or because he can also be in the Han Solo film. You know what I mean? Because it looks like in the universe he knows of Boba Fett. Boba Fett knows about him. It's not just a bounty, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think that they could actually make it where they've bumped heads, in the previous, before episode 5 stuff.
And in the expanded universe, now here's my thing. In the expanded universe, he's alive and he was training. He was helping. He was helping. Han Solo's kids train to become like a better
so crazy.
fighter. So it's like, why don't they use that material from the expanded universe
and implement it? Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I got you. I totally got you. But like, we're going in blind. And that's both good and bad.
Yeah.
Because we don't know where they're going. We don't know what kind of stories they tell. And that was actually one of the things that I loved about it so much. Because before episode 7 came out, we were like, oh shit, like Han Solo and Leia, they're going to be married and they're going to have those twins. We were expecting them to have the twins, remember? Because they had twins and then they had a third kid. And then when they just gave us the one kid, and you're like, oh. And then they call him Ben Solo, and you're like, oh, because Ben is someone else. Meaning like, it's Ben Skywalker. You know what I mean? So, I mean, we had to accept it. That they changed it. It's both for the good and the bad. You know what I mean?
I forgot what his character, who his character was based off of. I forgot his name. It started with a C. The character, the one that's Ben, the one that's been in the movies.
Okay. Ben Solo.
Yeah. But he's not the Ben Solo from the expanded universe.
Ben was actually the son of Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, now Luke Skywalker has nothing to our knowledge. He doesn't have a kid.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think of the character that he's based off of. Actually, he's based off of one of.
Oh, you think Ben Solo is based off someone in the stories?
He is.
In the canon, you know what? I didn't even know that. I didn't even bother to look, because I felt Kylo Ren was such a new character. Though he's not new, but he's a new character to the story that I didn't really. I thought he was just a bad version of Finn. Yeah, so Finn being the most original, I feel.
They took Ben Skywalker and they took the name and just placed it on Han Solo's kid, but he has a different name in the novels. I forgot what it was. But it was like Cassidus, or I forgot the name.
That mirrors this character, that mirrors this person. What did he do? Did he do exactly what Kylo Ren did? Meaning, like, did he kill the whole religion of Jedi?
No, he turned Sith.
But did he do what Kylo Ren did in this film? Did he do that?
Try to remember.
You know what I mean, right? Did he murder a whole bunch of Jedi?
Like he I don't think. I know, but you know what though? Like, I do know that the daughter. Actually, they fight. Mm-hmm. They fight in the
twins.
In the novels.
I do know that.
Yeah. So, I haven't read it in like a while, so I'm like all rattled up.
The thing is that what sucks is that you could be reading that and they could just throw that right out the window.
I have the books too. Like
cool.
I have them in my house. I just gotta, if you ever want to read them, just let me know.
Yeah, man, I'll let you know.
But yeah, it was. I felt like they took a lot of.
I do notice that they do take a lot from the books. Like there are things that they're nitpicking, they're plucking out stuff.
But they're just mixing it up.
They just throw it into this quote unquote original film.
But at the same time though, like I hope to God that they are taking way more than just movies. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I mean, they're kind of showing us that now.
As like the
a little bit, at least in Rebels, they are.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Rebels definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they go way too hard on the series, like the TV series, rather than the movies. Like I'm more excited about the series than the movies.
But you know why? Is because they're original. Like meaning, obviously, they take place before Episode 4, so it's not original. But they're telling a much more interesting story, in my opinion. Where it's like I don't know any of these people. They're and they're interesting. I like them, and then they bring in someone from the Clone Wars and they put her in it, because this chick, the Anakin's apprentice, I'm drawing a blank what her name is right now. Ahsoka?
Yeah.
But Ahsoka, right? Yeah.
Ahsoka.
So she comes in, so it's kind of like, great, she's not dead, and she exists in the universe. That's awesome. And it was a nice payoff. I don't know. Did you watch the entire season?
I hope
so.
She's not
did you
dead.
see the fight that I'm talking about
with Darth
her
Vader?
and Darth Vader, and the fact that she didn't know who that was?
No, she did.
She did. Well, no, she didn't know who he was like right off the bat.
Yeah.
It wasn't towards the end of the fight where it's kind of like the Force, whatever. But nobody knows who that guy is. They don't know who's inside that mask, and that's always been one of the cool things that's interesting that they can do with the prequels, especially with a new not a New Hope, obviously. The new one that's coming out this year.
Yeah.
The Rogue One. Like here you got this guy. His name is Darth Vader. Nobody knows who he is from a hole in the wall.
Yeah.
They don't know he's ex-Jedi. They don't know he murdered all these people in the temple and those younglings. But this is where I can understand that people might come up to me or they might start commenting, hey man, does it matter? Like, episode 7 was so amazing. Who cares that it kind of remakes itself from the old movies? And who cares if the new one does that? And this is what my defense is. Episode 1, 2, 3. I don't give a shit what you have to say about it. I don't care if you don't like them. They're much more original. They didn't stem off of each other. Episode 1 doesn't mirror episode 4, 2 does not mirror episode 5, and 3 does not mirror 6.
Yeah.
Yes, there are certain moments that happen that are identical, but those movies I feel were very original, and they didn't need the original trilogy to tell its own story.
Honestly, that's the first trilogy I've seen where the bad guys win at the end of the trilogy.
Yeah. But we knew that they had to, though.
Yeah.
In the defense.
But still, I'm kind of hoping that they do that with this one, where it's not a total loss, but they're losing. You know what I'm saying?
One thing I can expect in episode 8 is that the First Order is going to be on a winning side. The part that upsets me and scares me is once he released that article and he said that the tone of episode 8 is identical to the tone of episode 5, it really concerns me because, like I said, if you watch the prequels like we have, the tones are not identical. They have their own tones within the aspect of the 3 films. And basically what I'm trying to say is that I wish that 7, 8, and 9 that they would invoke their own story in the 3, where it doesn't feel like I'm watching episode 4, 5, and 6 again. That's all I'm saying.
And on top of that, we are dealing with new characters, so there should be no mirror.
Yeah, we're talking about 30 years later.
Yeah,
Does it really have to be like episode 4?
Yeah, it's like, okay, we get it now. Like I get it. The first one was pretty much a passing the torch to...
I did that. I accepted it. I was like, I saw what you did. I don't agree with it because I feel like as Star Wars lovers as we are, and I feel that there are other Star Wars lovers like us in the in the world out there, that we feel that we feel that we're getting a little cheated. We weren't really given a new movie.
Yeah.
That's what I got out of episode 7. I enjoyed the hell out of it. but I didn't feel like we got a new movie. New movie.
Yeah. No,
That's all. That's my beef. And if they tell us that episode 7 has this mirroring effect of episode 5, and the first thing that came out of my mouth when I read that article, I said, are we not going to get an original Star Wars movie of this trilogy? Are we not?
I can see why you're pissed, but based on that article though, I don't want to think that it's going to be like episode 7 where it's completely like you could tell. For example, that planet, I forgot the name of the planet already. That she was
the
on.
Desert planet,
the
one that they should have just called Tatooine, and they didn't.
Exactly. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to think the new episode is gonna be like that because
Jakku.
Yeah, it was Jakku. I was thinking that too.
The most unmemorable planet. Because why? Because I bet you a lot of people call it Tatooine.
I thought it was Tatooine.
It should have been Tatooine.
From the trailers when I first saw episode 7, holy crap!
Dude,
I thought that was Tatooine.
If you're gonna have a planet and it's a desert planet, we're not accustomed to know any other planet that has desert except for Tatooine.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't want episode 8 to be anywhere near like episode 7. As
all
far
I'm
as
saying
like
is, I don't want it to remind me. I don't want to watch episode 8 and be like, okay, I feel like I'm watching episode 5.
I feel like they're gonna take the storyline from episode 5, but they're gonna use the outline for episode 5, but kind of change the storyline within the outline. So that way it's not like episode 5. It has its own story, but at the same time, what he said, what Adam said, the tone is gonna be there. Like
meaning that it's gonna be darker and all this and that.
Yeah,
but when you do tone, sometimes is to execute a tone. Sometimes you have to kind of like do the exact same thing that other movies do, so you can achieve that specific tone. Like if you want to go darker, it's like saying I want to make my Batman movie and I want it to be darker. So that means every movie that you do that you claim that you want a darker Batman movie, you have to show his parents get killed.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have to get so that way it keeps him gloom, it keeps him grim. But if you say I want to make a happy Batman movie, you should never bring up his dead parents.
Yeah.
Because then that'll bring you down. As a film watching kind of like thing, it's just an analogy. Obviously, that's all I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like that's what I mean. When you take something and you say, "Yo, this is the tone of episode 5," and then you start thinking about what episode 5 is, and you're like, "Yeah, man, that shit is pretty gloomy." And I feel that if to achieve that gloom, then this is what I'm expecting. That means I'm expecting training. Right? To the point where Luke is gonna be upset with her. That she will leave and confront Kylo Ren, where he would destroy the shit out of her, where she would have to escape. And let's say if someone dies, Chewbacca dies, or Leia dies, or I don't believe Finn will die, but let's say he gets captured by the First Order, and that's how it ends, where he's a prisoner somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, meaning that's the end. And I'm like, shit, man, that sounds like fucking episode 5 to me. And I even told it to you in a way where it doesn't sound like episode 5 because I'm using these characters, you know what I mean? And then she goes off, and even if the fighting will be cooler and better.
But you think that's like the way you just described it. You think that's still episode 5?
Do I think that? Well, yes, because those are the beats that happen in episode 5.
But still, it's still a different story. Like for example, if Luke gets captured at the end, no one got captured at the end of episode 5.
Yeah, he did. Han Solo. Han Solo was taken by the bounty hunter, by Boba Fett.
Yeah, but that's completely different.
No, not really, because like let's say episode 8 ends with either Luke getting kidnapped, or Finn getting kidnapped, or Chewbacca getting killed, or Princess Leia getting killed. Like any of those things is the exact same thing or the same effect as Han Solo getting captured by the bounty hunter.
Not by like a bounty hunter, but what happens if like let's say Kylo Ren captures?
Yeah. I don't know who. I'm just saying anybody. I'm just saying that at the end of 8, that if that happens, expect that to happen. Any of these kind of like. Ideas.
So you mean to tell me anything negative at the end of episode 8 is going to remind you of Empire Strikes Back?
No, because episode 2 had a negative effect too, because the Clone Army had started. It was the beginning of the war. So that's a gloomy thing. If you remember, there's that beautiful shot of all the clone troopers. That was a
sick
shot. Yeah, dude. Though. And what I love is very patriotic. It's very like awesome, and yet that punch to the balcony that Jimmy Smits does, Bail Organa. And you could tell that this should not be happening. You know, that he's not, it doesn't feel right. Them going to war does not feel right.
Yeah.
And then you're hearing that Imperial March song playing, and you're just like, oh my God.
But wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Back to what we were saying before. Well, Han Solo technically did not get, was it a prisoner though? He was being sent back to Jabba.
To Jabba because of his death. But he was a prisoner because when they found him in Episode 6, they still found him encased in the carbonite. He was like, oh, he makes a great decoration on my wall. That's what Jabba says.
Yeah. But
you know, so like basically expect to say, like, in terms of tone, if they're achieving the same tone from Episode 5, expect these to happen. And I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, but what happened? Well, now let's say they kind of steal that tone from episode 5.
Yeah.
Let's say Luke Skywalker gets captured.
If it is him,
now,
I don't know if it's gonna be him, but let's say it is him.
Ray, Luke, whoever the heck it is.
Yeah.
Like episode 8 the whole episode 8 could, 9 could be based off of the fact that they gotta rescue that person.
And what does that sound like to you?
Return of the Jedi, but no, I'm talking about yeah, but that was just the beginning of Return of the Jedi.
That was just the beginning, but I'm saying
I'm talking about the whole movie.
Yeah, no, I'm just speaking in terms of tone. Like, the thing is, what I was trying to tell you before I started this tone adventure that we're just having, is that in order to achieve a certain tone, you have to do certain things that are identical. If I told you I was going to make 10 Batman movies, just like I said, and I want them to all be in the same tone, meaning grim or, sad and all those 10 movies have to include that his parents died, because that will ingest where this movie will be going.
Yeah.
So if you could you agree would you agree with me that 7 and 4's tone are almost identical, or at least the beats, the moments?
No, I agree with you 100%. That movie was such a mirror image of the first one. But which I was thinking, I was kind of justifying it though, because I'm like maybe it had to be like that.
That's the reason why I accepted it. Like, I let it go. I let it go. You haven't heard me bitch about it too much. That meaning after the fact, when we talk about Episode 7. So like I always say, outside of the fact that it was literally the same movie, I saw it before 30. When I was 15 years old. That's when I first saw Star Wars, and I was like, can we not? What happened? Why couldn't we get an original movies? George Lucas did not have a problem giving us 3 new movies and not be original, because they were. The problem that people have with the trilogy is that I think it was ahead of its time. And what do I mean by ahead of its time? That huge CG world. Was there anything before that you saw? Can you remember? I don't know. Before Episode 1. You know what I mean? Like, they got to visit so many different planets. You got to visit so many different kind of species. You got to visit, you know what I mean? Like, there was so much to see. It was so open, because I think that the original trilogy, it was so closed in. You're at the Death Star. You're on Tatooine. You're on, on Tatooine again, because they really go nowhere. And then you're on Endor. It's just so close.
Yeah, but you know what? It's easy for George Lucas to make that, because that's his baby.
I totally get that. And then this is where, let me take it, to the past a little bit, before Episode 7, while it was being made, and George Lucas sold Lucasfilm to Disney, he admitted to have given them the Bible of Star Wars, right? It's like, hey, man, I got an idea.
That's right.
Do you remember that? Did you hear that?
I read about that.
And
yes. He gave all of his ideas in some form of booklet.
Because he has a Bible, so to speak. He has a big, thick Lord of the Rings looking fucking book.
He handed that to, I think, the CEO of that
Kennedy, the lady.
Yeah,
the one that's running the Lucasfilm division right now with Disney.
Yeah.
Do you remember what they told him? Do you remember what they told him?
That he would be able to have a say in the movies.
No,
not a say, but like if he wants to, like if the director needs help, that they could go to him.
They can go to him.
Yeah.
But then they chose not to. Did you know that? They chose not to.
Well, that's messed up.
They also declined his Star Wars Bible. They didn't take it.
They didn't? I thought they
did not. It. No, he offered it to them. Kind of like a segue, like, here, you can go. He pushed them in the right direction, where it was like he was pushing a little child that had training wheels, and then he knocked the training wheels off, and then he was like, yo, I'm gonna bike you a long way.
I could have sworn that Kennedy accepted the Bible, and said that
maybe maybe they did accept it in Earth 2. Maybe that's what happened in Earth 2. You know what I mean? Like on the DC universe of Earth 2.
Yeah.
Maybe that's when they did it. Because they didn't accept it in Earth 1.
That's messed
And
up.
I'm going to tell you the reason why. You know what? I'm not going to quote who said it, but you want to know, I'm going to say Disney. Do you know what Disney's reason was why they didn't take it?
Why?
We want to make the new movie for the fans. That's what they said. That was their quote. You can actually look it up.
So
I'm pretty sure you can Google that. Because
why the heck did they accept the freaking Lucas thing?
because he did. I'm not agreeing with this, but people feel that episodes 1, 2, and 3 were not for the fans. Are you kidding me? We never seen Jedi do anything before these movies were made. Unless you read it, is what I'm saying.
Episode 3 had to be the best fight scene ever in any film, as far as like the most dramatic fight scene, as far as like the most well visioned fight scene when it comes to any sword fighting.
Even the build up to that fight, I feel, is amazing. Okay, I'm gonna say it. I'm just flat out say it. Episode 3 was my favorite film out of all 6.
I agree with you 100%.
Out of all the
100%.
6, not counting 7, because 7 hasn't really come into itself. Let's see what happens with the sequels. But I'm talking about 1 through 6. The George Lucas saga. Episode 3, to me, has got to be, hands down, the most emotional film of all of them. The most amazingly action sequenced out of all of them.
Yep.
And that turn to Vader, to me, is just very timeless to me.
Yep, I am with you.
Right, John Zona, man.
150%.
Let's make people
right there.
pissed.
No, because I'm a big fan of episode.
Oh, we are too. But we're pissing people off by saying.
Oh,
this.
I don't give a shit. Because episode they have.
We love you guys, but sorry, this is what Real Talk Rant is about. We're telling you the ugly truth.
It goes episode 3, then Empire Strikes Back, then Return of the Jedi, and then the episode 2. Episode 1's my least favorite. Then episode 4, then episode 1.
Okay, I mean, they're all good to me, but yes, I have the same thing as you. I have like best to worst, not worst, but best to like least best. That's the way I like
exactly
it. You know what I mean? Like, yes, 3 is my number 1, 2 is my second, episode 5 is my third, episode 4 is my fourth, episode where am I up to? 6, and then 1. That's me. Not. This.
Wait, episode 2 is your second one?
Episode 2 is my second one.
It must be that fight scene at the.
No, actually, believe it or not, it's the turning. That's what does it to me. Anakin's turn, saving his mother, what he says after he saves his mother. That conversation.
Okay. I see. That was.
I am a
pretty
sucker for emotional moments.
Yeah.
The emotional moments, and when it comes to the way it was written to me, I think is, pretty flawless. I'm not talking about acting. I'm talking about the writing itself. Sometimes I'm not even looking at the actor act. I'm just looking at the mouth and just listening to what the words are coming out. You know what I mean? And that conversation that Anakin has with Padme, to me, in that house, it's when he starts it off like things are much simpler, building things like that just means something. Because then and that actually justified, because I used to say, why couldn't Anakin be older? That's one of my gripes with the movie. I wish that when we met him, he was 12, 13, 14 years old. Around the same age Luke Skywalker was. But when he said that in episode 2, and then that's what I said to myself, George Lucas has his grand plan. Anything that I fucking question, he fucking answers it for me. I'm speaking as myself, not for everybody. Everybody interprets it. But when he said that line, that things seem so much simpler, building things, I just said to myself, episode 1 just scored 10 more points of awesomeness for me. Because when you watch him, in that scene where we first meet him and we meet 3PO, and then you attach it to that scene, you're like, fuck, man, that's fucking great.
I just, what? I think that George Lucas could have done episode 1 better.
I agree. I just told you one of my gripes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's just like because like there's such a big step forward between episode 1 and episode 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just really it kind of pisses me off, which makes it even more of the reason why it's like the last one, because it's like okay, I understand that it had to be for the kids in some way, shape, or form.
I feel, look, this is where I agree with part 1. Show any kid that, they're gonna think it's one of the greatest movies they've ever seen in their life, and that mirrors you. How old were you when you watched Star Wars?
No. I was just gonna say I agree
Yeah.
with you because when I first saw it, I saw it in theaters, but I was a little kid.
Episode 1?
Episode 1.
Yeah,
I was a very.
99.
I was a
How old
kid.
were you? 99.
99. I don't know, like probably.
Count your damn years,
Like
damn it.
I was like 10 years old.
There was 17 years old.
Yeah.
So minus 17 of your age.
I'm saying like I was 10 years old. But
I mean, and
I'm too damn tired to think about that.
I apologize, man. I apologize. So thank you for being on the show. But so you saw, what you say, you were 10?
I was 10.
Okay, you were 10. So bust this out. I was 18 when I saw episode 1. And I both saw, me being older, I could have easily hated it. I was way older than you, and but I read between the lines, and I saw that it needed to be a little bit more inviting to kids. That first one, because he wants you to see him in order, numbered order. You know what I mean? And if you watch it in numbered order, it is inviting. Because think about it, you start watching at 10, where my nephew saw it, they loved Jar Jar. You as a 10-year-old, you didn't like him?
I didn't like him when I was.
Really?
I remember I was so infatuated with Darth Maul and like the way he looked and the double-edged lightsaber. I was like, I was spazzing out in my seat, all excited.
You want to be more excited? I'm gonna tell you something. A really cool story.
What?
I met him. I met Ray Park.
Damn.
He signed my book. Welcome to the Dark Side, Lou. That's what we put on my screenplay for episode 1. Yeah, I met Ray Park. After he did that. And you know what I told him? I told him, I love the way you portray Darth Maul. And he says, how so? When you're pacing back and forth, waiting for Qui-Gon Jinn, it is the part that always stands out for me.
That was the most tension scene.
Yeah.
I was like, after he just got done with, Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
It just completely freaking just.
That silence is so many words coming out of that.
I was like, oh man. I'm like, Obi-Wan's gonna get. I mean, I was just like, oh man, Obi-Wan. Like, I was a kid, so at the time I didn't really care about the storyline. But then, because I grew up watching everything as a kid from like when I was like 7 years old, all the way to now. And it's Star Wars has something that not a lot of movies have these days, and it's legacy. Even back then, and even now, I'm including the prequels. Yeah. Like it has a legacy to it. Like, and my whole thing, and this is going straight to what we were talking about with VIII. Mm-hmm. Don't kill that legacy.
And that's what I'm scared of. I'm not saying that they're going to make bad movies. We're not sitting here thinking that they're not going to that they're going to make bad movies.
No, they're not.
I'm excited for Rogue One. I'm excited for 8, 9, and any possible films that are coming out in the future.
Thank God for Rogue One.
Yeah, thank God for one. Because you know why? Because if that movie comes out, because that scene, when I see that trailer for Rogue One, it looks so fresh, so original.
So way original.
You know what I mean?
Like, but it has a storyline based off of the actual. I think
it looks like they're capturing the beat of like the saga, but they're like, but we can tell our own story. And the thing that upsets me is that if Rogue One can do it, and so Disney can see that Rogue One has that, why didn't Episode 7 get that from the jump, from the beginning?
And you want to know another thing? I don't mean to keep going from topic to topic, but like, another thing that kind of pissed me off with Episode 7, the way the Star Killer base went. Mm-hmm. The way it went, I almost that was almost a deal breaker for me. But at the same time, I'm like, it still looked cool.
Yeah, it looked great. But you didn't like how I'm like, shit. Didn't I see this when I was 15 years old? I saw that.
It's the same damn way the Death Star went. The same.
Only with amazing special effects. That's what.
And it's like okay, you made the explosion look cooler, but what the freaking hell was that I just watched?
I just saw that already. It's like, what the hell did I just watch?
Same thing.
It's like this is what I saw. I saw Starkiller Base, and they went in. This is what it reminded me of. It was like Episode 4 when they went to the trench, right? But mixed in with Episode 6 when they had to fly through the vents and everything. So it felt like it was a mix of both, and I was just like,
But it's like, okay, this is like 30 years later. You didn't learn from the old mistakes of what the Empire did before with the building of the base. Mm-hmm. You mean to tell me it's that simple? You just have to shoot lasers in a little hole?
It will always be that. You know what? This is where I agree with it. History repeats itself. All right, fine, got you. But I still feel there could have been a much more original story to tell. Yeah. I feel.
I was like, oh, come on, man. But I thought it was cool how it was able to not only just use its power to knock off one planet, it knocked off several planets at a time. Which I was like, okay, that's cool. Like,
there were things that they did that made it, to make sure it doesn't feel identical to the original film.
Yeah.
But like, it's just like I said, I walked out of that movie theater and it's like, yeah, man, that movie was awesome, but please, 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 please. Chill with that mirroring shit. Chill with the fact that you're like telling the same story twice. Please don't let episode 8 be that way.
Yeah.
Please. And and then when Adam Driver came out with that article this past week, I'm like, no.
I don't want to lose hope on it. I don't want to think that they're gonna do the same thing over and over and over again with that part.
Like when it comes to the sequels.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, are you gonna tell me that episode 9 is not gonna be like Return? What are you gonna call it? Like Return of the Jedi again, part 2, or what the fuck? Like I'm not saying that's gonna be
Return of
I'm just
Rey.
saying, come on. If I swear to God though, if they call episode 8 the First Order Strikes Back, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. Oh my God, that's just like, all I'm saying is that I'm expressing my negative feelings because let me go back to the George Lucas thing. When he gave them the Bible and they declined it, and he said that Disney told him, no, we want to make a movie for the fans. I remember that being the first sour taste that was left in my mouth when it came to like the process of making these Star Wars movies, in terms of the news that's coming out and all this and that. I was like, damn, that really hurts. That fucking hurts me. Like, how can you want to make a saga that a person created and then you tell him, nah, we good?
I do remember a lot of people think that George Lucas was ruining his own creation.
That's a form of an opinion, but I don't agree with it.
But not that I agree with it.
No, I'm not saying that you agree. I'm
saying that's what I was reading.
I've heard everybody's opinions about that, but what people don't realize is that to me, though, that trilogy, that second trilogy, those prequels, are they opened up the world of Star Wars to unmeasurable amounts. And you know what pissed me off about episode 7? They closed it up again. They closed up that world again. Do you understand what I'm saying?
How so?
This is what I mean.
I'm trying to
episode 1, right? Episode 4, right? Let's go episode 4. Let's make episode 4. We start on Tatooine. We start in space, but that doesn't really count. We're in ships, then we go to Tatooine, and we don't get to see much of Tatooine. Not like the way that I feel that we see it in episode 1.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you get to see that outdoor salesman selling stuff. You know what I mean? Things like that. Right. The sandstorm, going to the house, the pod race. You get to see the side of Tatooine you've never seen before. Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, just Tatooine alone is a much wider space. It has a planet now. Like, back then it was like, here's a planet, and it was just a small little island, small little area. Mm-hmm. You went from Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru's house to Mos Eisley. Right. You don't see much in between that. Just a little rocky area there, a little rocky area there. You get to see the driving, but it's not really... I'm talking as the original trilogy. I'm not even including the new stuff that George Lucas added in '97. Right. I'm talking about like how closed it was, and then how in episode 1 he opened it up. So here it is, and then after Tatooine they go to the Death Star, and then after the Death Star they go to help me out. What's that? Yavin. Yeah. The base, rebel base, whatever. Again, very small. You saw some trees in the base. You don't get to see much. And then episode 1 came out. You got Tatooine. You got space again. You got this planet. Where the hell is it? Naboo? Yeah. You get to see so much of Naboo, like the vast. You get to see the inside. You get to see the planet, and you get to see the underwater planet of Naboo, and you're like, awesome. You're like, look at all this. Like, there's so much more to like gaze at in terms of vision. You know what I mean? And he did that again for the second one, and he did that again, I feel, for the third one. Geonosis, he gave birth to so many planets where you thought it was just so tiny. Yeah. And I'm not talking about the books. Like, we're excluding the books from this, where they introduce so much. And the reason why I'm excluding them is because most people, like me, we watch... The movies exist more than the books for me. I'm not saying the books are bad, and I'm pretty sure there's a shitload of books.
Storylines,
but I'm going by the but I'm just talking about like the George Lucas aspect of it. What did George Lucas do to the Star Wars franchise? In terms of the movies, he opened it up, man. He opened it up so vastly. Think about all the planets now that we can visit when Episode 7 comes out. Holy shit, man! I can't wait. And then what happened? We got an enclosed movie again. We're on Jakku. And then we go to another planet. And that's it. And then we go to Starkiller. That's it. But did you really feel it was so vast and open? Like their journey to Scar.
I get what you're saying.
Imagine if
Right.
Han Solo and them they land and they had to land far away, and then they have to journey to the base so they don't get seen. Like, think about that. And then visit animals and fight animals like they did on episode 1. You know what I mean? When they were underground and they had to, run away from that big-ass fish. You know, whatever. I'm just saying, look at the difference between the two.
It's almost like as if they created their own universe outside of the universe that was already created. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you. And I was like, damn.
The fact that they called Jakku.
Tatooine.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what this is what I would have accepted it with the name Jakku. If they told us that was formerly Tatooine, and because after the war they wanted people to forget the war, they called it something else.
You can't just rename a planet like that.
Yeah, you can, because think about it. Like the World Trade Center is not called World Trade Center no more. They're called Freedom Tower.
True.
Yeah, I mean, they're renaming it so it doesn't have that bad history. And, because of the war, I would have accepted it. I'm not saying it would have been a good idea, but I would have accepted, it's called Jakku now because, after the war, Tatooine.
And maybe, the next episode could probably create something along those lines, or, recreate the fact that, the reason episode 7 was like this, or for example, Jakku, what you just said with Tatooine being, okay, we renamed it Jakku and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, anything,
But,
that would have
also,
told me, this has a nice little
But what kind of calmed me down was the fact that they're flying around through the universe. So who's to say that it's just it's just the same, it's the same planet. There could be other Tatooines out there.
Oh, here's a good way to explain how I felt about episode 7 and how closed it was. The Jedi, where Luke Skywalker was.
Right.
That's how I feel like that we went back to. When he went to go see Luke, he is hiding on an island that obviously has no house. That's what I mean. That's what I feel that Star Wars went. They kind of dialed it back.
Yeah, but he's probably so powerful now, he doesn't need that.
I got you. But what I'm saying is that as a metaphor, I feel like that's where episode 7 went. Where you had episode 1, 2, 3 gave you a whole planet. And then they just closed it right up to an island. That's what I feel like episode 7 did. So, when I said, oh man, I really hope episode 8 opens it up again because I feel like I'm so claustrophobic. Right. I didn't feel claustrophobic after 1, 2, and 3. There were so many things to see, so many different kind of characters. You know what I mean? Like the guy in the diner. It doesn't matter if they were there for 2 seconds. It doesn't matter but the world is so vast now that the cartoons, because Rebels is the only thing that's doing it like this, where you get to meet different people, different species, different personalities. You know what I mean? Even episode 2 goes so many different places.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And in episode 7 brought it back. It was like, no, 2 places. We'll keep it as simple, just like episode 4. Oh, we're going to tell a simple story, just like episode 4. Oh, we're going to set it up. Great. That's fine. I agree with you. Go ahead. Open it up. Invite more people back in. Totally get you. What are you going to do for episode 8? Are you going to go a nice different way? You're going to stem away from it? And what Adam Driver just proved to me this past week is, no, we're not stemming away from it. That's just what upsets me, and that's why we're having this fucking podcast right now, because I don't want that. I love this series and this saga so much, just like you said, that, these are legends. It's like the stories that you tell your kids in a way, but in a way we're going to be showing it to our kids.
It's a legacy.
It is a fucking huge legacy.
It's a very big legacy. For people who actually watched it from the very beginning.
As little kid as you could be to watch it.
Growing up watching this and then witnessing the prequels coming out in the theaters. I mean, people out there witnessed the first one coming out in theater. My dad witnessed the first one.
Yeah, and now we get to witness episode 1. I saw episode 1 6 times. That's how much it inspired me. It inspired me because I got to see from my own interpretation what some people felt like when they saw episode 4, and the ones that made filmmakers because of it. They all tell you that one thing, oh man, the second that Star Destroyer flies over my head, you get the first small one that you go over, and you're like, oh, cool. And then you get that huge one fly over your head. It changed a lot of people. Yeah. Meaning, people that became important people in the film industry, they will tell you, the ones that really enjoyed that first Star Wars film theatrically when they got to see it changed their lives. Episode 6, for me, changed my life, and this is what I mean by it. What I can tell you, the openness of the world. Before 1999, I'd never seen something so vast in openness, like so vast. Yeah, obviously I've seen movies with people where they go to other planets, quote unquote, aliens and this and that, but like so claustrophobic. When you see aliens, remember you've seen aliens.
Yeah, of course.
You're in case, like you got the storm, but that's all you see. Everything is so tiny.
Yeah, you don't see really much.
You're mostly inside. When you see the outside of it, like if they made aliens now, you would see like the whole planet, man. Like Prometheus, you got to see so much more.
Yeah.
Yet it was still a little bit close in, but you got to see so much.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
I get what you're saying.
And that's what I'm saying. That episode 1 did for me. Like, and when it came out, we're talking about 1999. Every time I would, if I had my day off, I went to go see it early, so I could just get out of my system. Yeah. If I got out of work early, I went to go see it. But I mostly went to see it in the morning. You know what I mean? Like, I just always went on my days off, and I did it every week for 6 weeks. And I just like, wow, this is amazing. The spaceship and this planet, Naboo, how gorgeous it looks. And Tatooine, it's great to see it. But look, this Tatooine, like I've never seen it before. You know what I mean? Like I got to see so much. It was so new to my eyes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the way that these new aliens came out and their personalities. Again, we didn't have that in 90. Before 99, there isn't much. Very, very little. You get to see some, like you got this, clumsy, Jar Jar. You guys come, and then you see his other tribes that are not clumsy. They're warriors, and you're like, fuck, man, you get to see that CGI characters. That's really also the first time I've seen that, where you get to see so many CGI characters just fighting. And George Lucas predicted the future, man. He said it. He said it before that, like around 98, 90, where he says, we're going to live in a world where CGI characters will be acting just like humans, and we won't need humans to play those characters. True. Jar Jar was the gateway to that. Jar Jar, to me, was the first CGI character that had life.
I'm trying to think of a movie.
Anything else before Jar Jar?
I'm trying to think.
Obviously, because not even Yoda was CGI yet in episode 1.
Yeah. What about the aliens from Mars Attacks?
They didn't talk.
They had something. Yeah.
Like it was cute and funny to see them, and yet
that was before 99, right?
But it was 96. I want to say 96.
Yeah.
Mars Attacks was great, but I didn't take those things seriously. That's the problem. Like, and they all look the same.
Toy Story, 95.
That's a cartoon.
But still, like it's still CGI.
But that's a cartoon. No, it's CGI, but it's still a cartoon. You might as well have drawn it. It wouldn't matter. Yeah. I'm talking about like in movies mixed with real people. You got to see Jar Jar, a CGI character, Jar Jar, next to Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn, and interacting and talking, and it makes you feel like Jar Jar's a real person. And then when they go into the underground thing, and then you get to see different looking Gungans. There were so many ones, and he created so many. None of them looked alike. Like in a vast thing where you can actually repeat, copy paste.
Yeah.
When you have so many things, and yet you see different personalities on there. It was like the 99 version of how he created the Millennium Falcon, where everybody's like, why doesn't the Millennium Falcon look awesome? He was like, what are you talking about? Look at it, it's awesome. He goes, yeah, but it looks like shit. And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, it should look like a ship that's been battle scarred. And
it's a carrier.
Exactly.
So it's supposed to look the way it looks.
Just put it like this. I feel that in the 70s, if they made the Millennium Falcon untouched and brand new looking vehicle, people still would have been like, oh my God, that's amazing fucking shit. Yeah. But he gave it class. He gave it like that grungy look. He made it look like a piece of junk. When we watched it, we didn't look like a piece of junk.
There's a story behind it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
There's a story like there's an area above his head where it was like blasted. It's all black, from a blast. And a lot of people told this, like even back in the day when Luke Skywalker said, "What a piece of junk." And there's a lot of people who's like, piece of junk, that shit looks awesome. You know what I mean? Like us as the viewer, I don't see a piece of junk, I see an awesome looking ship. He has to defend the ship's awesomeness. Yeah. He was like, even Leia said it. He's like, we're gonna fly in that thing? Damn, you're braver than I thought.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
He gave it class. He gave it like an edge, and before episode 4, all the ships were shiny, beautiful, not even the Enterprise had a dent on it. You know what I mean? Until now. Now they fucking destroy the Death Star. Every fucking movie they want to destroy the Death Star. And not the Death Star, the Enterprise. They want to destroy it in every movie now. Even the new movie, they destroy the Enterprise and they got to build the same shit, the shit again. You know what I mean? So, because you know why? We live in a world where we want to see those ships fucking get shot down and blown up and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So now, because thanks to Star Wars, we have some small detail like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But, I don't know.
But
I mean, you know what? I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying that, you know.
About what?
About the whole, you know, thing where, you know, about the whole.
About episode 8? I'm just expressing my fear. It's like I said, it's impressions. Like I do this a lot. That's actually one of the things that I hope you get to know about me as we keep doing the show.
Right.
When news comes out, the only thing you can do is assume, you know, have theories. And I do this all the time, you know, and I was like, shit, man, this would be great to record because I want my audience to know me in this way. You know what I mean? Like, holy shit, he reads that and he sees so much come out of just saying, oh, episode 8 is in tone the same as episode 5.
Well, because you know what it is, though? It's like it's very hard to do something different that's already like been done before.
Disagree.
You know?
You've forgotten about the prequels. They were totally original off themselves.
I'm not talking about prequels. I'm talking about from like episode 7, doing a sequel from episode 7.
That's where, again, I disagree with you because, Star Wars Rebels, Star Wars Rogue One. You know what I mean? These are movies that are stemming original stories or original feelings to this, you know, saga that exists, and we're able to have our own feelings that have nothing to do with any of the other movies.
I disagree with you because of the fact that, you know, episode 5 was a very good sequel to episode 4 because of the fact that because of that, it's hard to live up to that. So especially in Hollywood. Especially in Hollywood.
I got you.
Where they have to come up with something different. And the way it ended, the way it's all set up in episode 1, I mean, I keep saying episode 1, episode 7, the way it's set up, it's kind of like if they were to do anything different in episode 8, everybody's going to be like, well, that was already done in episode you know, 5 where they do this, they do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's hard to create a different idea. I'm saying it's hard to try to live up to
that hype.
To that hype.
Totally get it.
Because of the hype, because of what everybody, because episode 7 to some viewers
is considered the greatest one ever made. Right?
Exactly.
Is that what you're gonna say?
Exactly. But you know what, like, I'm not gonna lie. I was blown back by episode 7. I'm like,
I was too.
But and you know what? I'm like, but it's not the greatest.
No,
I don't think it still doesn't have anything. Yeah. It doesn't have shit on 3.
No, it doesn't. Emotionally, it doesn't.
Yeah.
But
not even visually too.
No, not even visually too. And that's what's sad because how old are they from each other?
Like 3
but
freaking.
That is the director's fault. Not saying that he didn't have any fault.
Yeah.
That's the director's fault for not seeing himself make anything more. Dude, you're a visionary. It's your job.
But
you know, and the only thing you can vision is what you already saw. You can't really bring anything new to the table, like really.
But
I think you can. I think JJ is a good enough director.
Yeah, but it's hard to because episode 5 was pretty damn good.
Yeah,
episode 5 was pretty. Damn
It was
good.
pretty good, but I feel I'm not looking for a better movie because, like I said, I don't have a best to worst. I have a best to least best. You know what I mean? To me, in their own ways, George Lucas, to me, directed and created 6 amazing stories. You know, through as themselves, as they stand onto themselves, they continue great from each other. You know, even the first 2 movies, 1 and 4, that long ass gap didn't even slow him down. You know what I mean? In terms of like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. You know what I mean? Shit like that.
But here's my example though. For example, like when you were telling, you know, like a few like minutes ago, when you were not a few minutes ago, but like a good during this podcast, you already like came up with a quick script of like, you know, oh well, you know what at the end
of the movie, the tone thing,
the tone thing, like, oh well, you know, episode 8 would probably end off like you where Luke Skywalker is kidnapped and put in prison.
Or Finn or
exactly.
Anybody,
so
Leia or whatever.
I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, oh man, you know. Imagine it does end up like that would be sick, and you're like, but it's already been done.
Yeah,
it's already been done with Han Solo. And I'm like,
that's the thing. Like, you can watch it, right? And when we watch something for the first time, we get this excitement. We're fucking pumped, And like, yeah, awesome, man. Listen. And then when you go home, and this is what I do with all the movies that I watch. I go home and then I like, all right, let me turn it down a notch emotionally and start stripping it.
But that's
and,
but
and then I'm
of
like,
people,
fuck, I just saw episode 4.
A lot of people are going to be doing that, though, because of the fact that, the tone itself is probably the same exact tone that episode 5 brought to the table. Where it's
I swear to God. If I see episode 8 and I start seeing where it's like partial training and then partial Finn, being, because some time is going to pass, let's say 2 years or whatever. And I see Finn flying around because he's being chased by the First Order here and there and everywhere with the fucking Millennium Falcon. You know what I mean? And we're going to get to see Lando Calrissian. Let's say we do meet him, old Lando Calrissian. Let's say he pops up. I'm like, Jesus Christ, of all fucking movies, you're going to make him pop up in the movie in tone with the moment that he pops up.
I guarantee you will see that.
I
guarantee you will see that.
And then he's going to tell the story about how that's the best hunk of junk in the galaxy and how we used to own it.
But
rest in peace, Han Solo.
But the fact, okay, what I got from this was, when he said that, saying that it's mirrors Empire Strikes Back, I was like, right away, I'm like, first of all, Lou's not gonna like that, and like it was funny when because I saw it before you even texted that to me.
Okay, so you did see that article before.
Yeah, but I didn't want to say anything. And then you texted me, and you're like, I'm so fucking pissed. I was like, I knew right away. I'm like, he just saw the article.
I was like, podcast. I'm so fucking pissed. People need to know what I'm fucking pissed off about.
But I'm gonna, you know what? Like, even if it's like that, like, because my theory, and I don't mean to, drift off into theories now, but my theory.
But that's what we're doing, because like I said, it's impressions.
My theory was that Luke discovers in some way, shape, or form. Because here's the twist. That Rey turns out to be Palpatine's kid. That's my theory.
Interesting theory.
That's my theory. Because look at Empire Strikes Back, where Luke got his hand chopped off, and the biggest.
Oh my God! If Rey gets her hand chopped off, I swear.
I don't say no. She's not gonna get her hand chopped off, but either. And I was like,
she better not get none chopped off.
And the fact that you said that Luke. Like when you threw out that could be a possible theory too, where Luke gets captured by the First Order.
I'm expecting anyone.
I'm expecting Rey to discover that she's the daughter of.
She will discover who her mom or dad is, or both.
Exactly.
Or whatever.
She's going to discover in this episode who her parents are, and I guarantee you it's Palpatine because he was probably a freaking Sith pimp or something like that. and Luke's gonna get kidnapped. And then it's going to end like that.
It's going to end with her having to go get him. But something's going to take her away from being trained. I mean, you remember like how Luke left?
Of course. I'm expecting that. I'm expecting it to... But even then, that's like a complete mirror of Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to say. I don't want it to be. Outside of just the training, I don't feel that they should hit those beats. I'm sure, obviously, there's a way to do... a different movie, even just by taking like one thing that makes it identical.
And you have over 200 books to take any idea.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, those 200 to maybe 500 books or 800, whatever ridiculous amount it is, they're all not even canon.
No, we don't know. It's their decision, whatever they want to keep.
No, canon. They already said there's nothing.
Nothing. But they have taken, like, for instance, like there are things like they said that the canon of Boba Fett surviving is true.
Yeah.
Obviously, that was done in the books. In the books, revived them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that means stuff like that. They're just nitpicking. They're taking things out. You know what? This guy didn't die, and we can put this person in there. And like even
The Force Unleashed.
Yeah, I got you.
The Force Unleashed had such a good storyline where it connected. It actually connected. It actually, this is how the Rebels started.
Yeah.
This is how things are the way they are. Yeah. And the fact that he was doing Darth Vader's bidding, where he was going to these planets, and you see some surviving, Jedi in these different planets. It's like. That's so awesome! Like they already took, they destroyed Starkiller, man. I'm done.
Yeah, well,
they
Forrest Whitaker's character in Rogue One. He's playing a character from Clone Wars.
Yeah.
So like, you know what I mean? And that was also something that they could have said, you know what, that didn't happen. You know what I mean? They didn't have, because that's not Disney made that stuff. That was made by Fox and anybody else. And again, Clone Wars was very original, man. It stands on its own 2 feet, bro.
It had some of its moments where I'm like, oh come on, that you shouldn't be doing that shit in freaking.
I agree.
You know,
I agree.
Like you should be doing that shit in this cartoon. Like come on, man. Like,
but one thing they do that was awesome. We knew Darth Maul survived, but most people really didn't know that until that cartoon came out and said, "Yeah, here's Darth Maul right here in the flesh and blood, bro."
Actually, you know, they actually had a very good comic, a little short story where Obi-Wan and Darth Maul had their moment one more time. Like, oh man,
during the Clone Wars, right?
Not during the Clone Wars. I'm talking about
in
like
the comics, but I'm talking about the fight happening during the Clone Wars.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. They did that thing in the Clone Wars too, but it was better in the comic.
No, but I'm saying in the comic books, did their fight? I can't remember. Did their fight happen during the Clone Wars?
No, it was after.
It was after the Clone Wars.
It was after.
Shit.
It was
on Tatooine.
On Tatooine.
Oh shit!
Where you know, he was running towards the young Luke.
Okay.
You see Darth Maul with robotic legs running towards Luke. And he knew Obi-Wan was there. Obi-Wan was hiding underneath like a pound of dirt.
Like, he's like assuring you, was like, yo, this guy's watching Luke.
Yeah, like he's like, I know you're here. Just, you know, come out and show yourself. He comes out of the sand. Obi-Wan's like, oh yeah, I'm right. Like out of the most random spot ever. It was a sit. You should look it up. It was
I'm gonna look that up for sure.
I think I can find it for you. I'll send you the link.
No, I mean, one of the things I want to do is get into Star Wars comics. Because, I mean, I got the app. I could get digital comics and all that stuff. Yeah. And I've been reading more comics every month now because, you know, thanks to the phone, digital comics. I own actually quite a bit of comic books. More than I ever thought I was going to own because DC and Marvel from time to time do a buy one, get one free digital comics. So I buy 20 for the price of 10. So I've done that 4 times now. So that's how many comics I have. I'm almost done completely owning the entire Civil War franchise comic book.
Really? They already have it.
But I'm a sucker. You know what I did? I did it like an old school comic book guy, and I'm buying per issue. I'm doing it that way. I'm spending more money, but not really. I really don't care.
I wait for it to come into like a
collection.
Yeah, like
I could have done that too. I could have bought the collection digitally, but I said, you know what, fuck it. I like the idea of owning. But I like the idea of owning every different.
I can't do digital comics. I can't do it.
Because of my movies, I have no room for books. So I have to succumb to buy them digitally because I literally don't know where to put anything. Book wise, I don't know. My CDs actually had to take a back seat too because that's how vast my movie collection is growing. But, you know, back to the Star Wars thing real quick. And, you know, I hope that people out there can understand what I'm saying. I'm not predicting this movie to be bad. That's not what I said. Just basing how the information's coming out, and I'm processing it. And I'm processing it prematurely, but that's what you're supposed to do. That's why they make these articles, for you to read them and, you know, so you can express the feelings that you have for it. Am I wrong?
No, you're absolutely right.
That's what these articles are written for. And I just wanted, this is actually my very first episode that I'm doing where, like, I read something and I'm explaining it to the people out there in the podcast world how I feel about it. And I'm very happy to have you so you can see how I go through what I go through in my mind. And I say, you know what, this podcast, I don't need to keep it in my mind anymore. People can actually listen to me. Someone can be with me to see how I'm expressing myself about it. You know, all I'm saying is that I am in fear of getting the same thing again. I don't feel that we should. I grew up watching that. I don't need to watch new and get the same feeling. I shouldn't, as an old watcher, I feel like I'm getting, you know, the short end of the stick. I'm speaking for people that have watched it, you know, the entire saga from a very young age, you know, and growing up with it, accepting and liking the prequel trilogy and obviously the original trilogy. And, you know, I was one of the people that was very happy that Disney bought Lucasfilm, because I was like, shit, man, yeah, man, if George Lucas is not going to do it, let us do it, man, because you know what, there are many fans out there. And that's the reason why I was going to tell you, like, going back to, like, they don't think, you know, that maybe you feel like the hype is so great that they're too scared to write something original. And not that I'm
They're
disagreeing with you.
constantly
Somebody's gonna
compare
hold
it to-
them back.
They're constantly going to compare it to episode 5.
Yeah.
They are going to.
Yeah.
Everybody is going to.
And they
compare it to
shouldn't,
episode
man.
5.
We should go in there and just say, "Yo, man,
But that was
episode
my,
8,
but that's my
awesome."
whole, but that's my whole point though,
Yeah.
because even if it does mirror, it's like you know what, if people want to consider it a remake,
Yeah.
you know, it's a Star Wars movie. I don't think Disney will try. I hope they don't.
No.
I don't think that they'll ruin they're gonna keep the legacy going. I
Yeah.
really do.
They
think
will,
that-
and I'm all for that.
Yeah.
But I'm just scared. It's like, but just because you got a hold of the reins now doesn't mean you gotta take the adventure the exact same road that some guy that gave you those reins.
I could have sworn that they accepted Lucas's.
I am so upset that they didn't.
I
think
thought I read
about
that.
this. This is actually my theory. When I heard that story, I wanted to ask somebody, and I can ask you. Don't you want to know what was in that book?
I would have taken it just to see.
Yeah, man. Even if they didn't film it, but like I just think it's a kick in the balls.
Yeah.
You know, you're the guy that created it.
I'm so sorry. It
Yeah.
just popped into my head. I think his name was Jason Solo.
Jason Solo, Jacen Solo. Yeah.
I know I completely randomly just said that out of
Yeah,
nowhere.
back to that little thing. Yeah, you got his name. Jason.
I was thinking about the whole
remember.
entire time. It was Jason Solo, and he became Darth Sadis.
He was the male twin.
Yep. And exactly.
The male twin to Leia and Han.
Yeah.
Yep. And he's the one that became a Sith.
And he fought
his sister. Yeah, his sister brought him back to like.
Yeah, he.
You know what I
his
don't
sister.
want to, in terms of mirroring, because this is where I'm scared that they might go.
What?
You know, because you saying that, and we just said about Darth Vader was brought back from dark to light. You know, Jason Solo was brought back from dark to light. I'm scared that Kylo Ren will do the same thing, and I don't want to see that personally.
He should. If they were going to do that,
He should pay for his price and stay evil and get murdered for murdering his father. I don't feel that he did something so fucked up that I don't feel that coming back to light is justifiable.
No, he's definitely. They gotta kill him off.
If they do that, like I'm talking about in Revenge of the whatever or Return of the whatever. I'm talking about Episode 9 status, and we push forward and we see that where he's like, yes, I can come back and be a good guy again. I don't know, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about the actual, these sequel trilogies, but we'll find out when we get to that.
Okay, look at it like this though. You see what happened with Anakin Skywalker killing all the younglings.
Yeah,
and like
gotta love that word, younglings. They were younglings,
killing everybody in the temple, but yet he came back in Episode 6.
And brought himself back. But like you can excuse him because
how can you excuse
he's
that?
the first one to do it. In the story, I'm talking about in this. No, you can't excuse it because it's his story. The saga is the story of Anakin Skywalker to Darth Vader to coming back.
You don't want it to mirror Darth Vader.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. I don't want Kylo Ren's because he lives up to the Darth Vader person.
Yeah.
We can't. We don't know yet if Kylo Ren knows what happened to Darth Vader, Anakin. Does he know that this guy turned good? And he knows that's his grandfather. He knows he was one of the most evil person in the galaxy. And because one of the things I liked about Episode 7 is that he does have an emotional struggle. Yeah. He's about being good. I want to do good. Because when he confronts his father, and he's talking to him, he's bullshitting. He did that on purpose. Yeah. And then right there when he killed his father, he says, "This man does not have a struggle." To me, I got that. I don't feel that he has a struggle between good and evil. A little bit. He did earlier in the film when he was talking to Darth Vader's helmet. Yeah. But at that moment, he has decided. He chose a side. Permanently. I feel permanently. You don't say, because what he says, I don't know which one to choose or whatever. He goes, let me help you. And he kills him. He already had made his choice. Yeah. You know what I mean? He is forever going to be a dark side person. So all I'm saying is that if they renege from that, if they take that back, I'm going to be upset about that.
But look at it like this, though, and this is my point that I wanted to make earlier about justifying Episode 8. Okay. If you were to recall Rey's vision when she was about to get the lightsaber.
Okay.
She touched the lightsaber, and
Yeah.
then she goes
And
to
then
this
everything went crazy.
hallucination. I don't know what the heck was on that
Yeah.
lightsaber. She was tripping balls.
Yeah.
And you saw that that one quick scene where they were in the rain, and you see Kylo Ren with like a bunch of
Yeah, well, she saw what happened in the temple, meaning like what Luke had to deal with.
No, that wasn't.
Yes, that's what it was. That was what happened. Kylo Ren destroyed the temple, and that's the reason why Luke Skywalker is the only Jedi again.
I'm only saying this because I was watching a lot of YouTube videos doing my research.
People doing like theories.
Yeah, theories. I was all to that theory thing. And
what do you think she saw?
She saw the future.
You think she saw the future as opposed to seeing the past of what happened?
She saw the future because there was other people that actually, that were part of the whole the Kylo team, whatever it was. Like I forgot what they called it.
But let me ask you this: what about what Han Solo said about? Because Ben was the first Jedi that Luke took train,
and Ben killed off the other people. But the future where
But you think he did that without looking like Kylo Ren, is what you're saying?
Yeah, he did that
without looking like Kylo Ren, and then later.
Yeah, but she was seeing the future of it raining, and like they were there to hunt down Luke.
Okay.
And that was the theory that I was actually, it's not legitimate. Like,
you think that might be like, let's say, a scene that you might see in Episode 8?
Exactly. Like it could be completely different. Like maybe they are taking maybe they are getting creative and saying.
I hope so. I really do, because this is what I want. I want them to be creative.
But like, here's the thing though. Like, for example, I think there was like one scene where one of them was going after Rey, and that's why I remember when Rey. I got to watch the scene again, so maybe I'm wrong. But Rey fell back, and one of them was gonna kill Rey, but Kylo saves her.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Kylo
I see what
saves
you're
her.
saying.
Like, do you see the lightsaber?
Where it looked like where she was at, and then the guy coming. But to me, it looked like he was trying to kill Kylo. And then Kylo just ended up seeing it. And I know what scene you're talking about.
Yeah. So,
but to me, that's what it looked like. Not what you're saying, but you saying that, it's interesting. I see what you're saying.
So maybe he is gonna try to convince her to go to the dark yet again. Yeah. But like maybe he's gonna maybe something's gonna go down.
One thing is for sure. Yeah. I better see the Knights of Ren. Those guys looked amazing, and I hope they have great personality with each other.
Yeah, he was with the Knights of Ren. I think that's what it was. Like, he was with that team, the Knights of Ren.
So I mean, in turn, yes, I understand that could be the future, meaning like how she saw the future, or because it makes sense. Like, why would Ben look like Kylo Ren? Or maybe you know what I mean. I mean, but he could look like Kylo Ren, where he just says, "Oh, fuck you, Luke," and then leave, and then come back like that.
Yeah, I want
to. If it was the past, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. I want to.
That he could have just left in anger and come back and then destroyed the whole temple.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, he we know that Luke Skywalker is the last Jedi, But all I'm saying is that, it got me upset with the.
That's Jason Solo.
Yeah. I see that. Yeah, Jason Solo. One thing that I don't want to feel like I'm watching Episode 5 for me being a veteran.
Yeah.
I'm a veteran. One of the reasons why I think Episode 7 made so much money, and it was more the new viewers instead of veteran viewers, I feel. And that's great, man, because that's what we're supposed to do, man. We're supposed to bring those new people in and watch the saga. And that's a great feeling when that's going to be a great feeling when I take my kids.
Yeah.
To see, not even take my kids, when I show them the first Star Wars movie, and I want them to grow up. They're going to grow up with it in a way that we could never.
But I also don't want them killing the legacy off. Like, they make a movie every single year.
Well, not every year. They're making it every other year, but I see what you're saying. We are going to get a movie every single year. But they're smart to making sure they're not making sequels every year.
Yeah.
So that's the Madden series, for God's sake.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like they got to stop somewhere.
Saturated. They're going to be like, oh, dude, Star Wars again?
Because when Episode 7 came out, everybody became a Star Wars fan. Yeah. Out of the blue.
Yeah, of course. We got a lot of brand new customers.
You know, before Episode 7 came out, you knew I was a Star Wars fan.
Yeah,
you knew,
just like as much as you knew of mine.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we were the beginners, and everybody looked down upon Star Wars people.
How many people did we convert, though? Once Episode 7 came out.
I know.
There's a lot of people on our podcast that became Star Wars fans. Like, even my girlfriend, she knew of Star Wars and all that, but I made her sit down and watch that whole saga when we first met. And ever since she's like, oh, I'm not turning back. I had a coworker. She didn't know anything about Star Wars. I lent her my movies. And then after she watched all 6, she was like, awesome. She obviously saw episode 7. She went to Mexico on vacation. She took a selfie. And she fucking showed me for the first time that she bought herself a Star Wars shirt. I was like, nice shirt. She was like, thanks to you. I was like, awesome. Yeah, it's having new customers for being Star Wars fans is a great feeling because she has become a Star Wars fan the right way. You know, she watched all 6 movies. She watched the new movie in theaters when it came out, you know, anticipating it like us veterans are. And then going out there and being on vacation and proving to me, she took a selfie. And then when I saw that shirt, it blew my mind. I was like, that's awesome. You're not just a person that liked the movies. You're a walking, talking Star Wars fan because that shirt says it all.
Yeah. So I'm like sitting there, like everybody's like, you know, oh, like, you know, episode 7 came out. Oh, I'm still Star Wars. Now, you know, notice how quickly it died down. Even Target had like a whole.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh, you don't want to go to Florida. There's Star Wars in every store. They have their own sections still because they're, you know, close to Disney. Yeah. When I went to Florida.
So like, you know, yet again when 8 comes out.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be saturation again.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's a good thing, you know.
Yeah, that's great.
But eventually, if they keep on going, if they keep on doing it, if they keep on like, you know, where it's like episode, I don't know, like
20.
Yeah, episode
let's say
like
20, 15.
You know, something crazy, ridiculous.
Because we gotta do it in 3s.
it's like, you know, like, come on. You know, at some point, you guys. I think this might be the last trilogy. Like just leave it.
Should be the last trilogy for a while, at least, and give us those little one movies. Yeah. I have no problem with that with the one movies.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't.
But we could get that every 3 years or something like that.
Or like side stories, or like something crazy. Like
one notes, maybe things without sequels.
Like I don't. My whole thing is I don't want Disney to just. I understand they have to make money off of it. I understand that you know how the whole business thing works about it. But they just need to do the next 2 right.
Yeah. You want to know what's funny? I think that if you mix all their like endorsements and all that stuff, and then including this one movie, they made their money back.
Oh, of course.
Meaning what they spent on it. They spent $4 billion to make this movie. They got $1 billion. Almost $1 billion. There was 932, 935, something like that.
Something close.
Something like that. But let's say it's $1 billion. They made $1 billion off the movie alone. Domestically, and then worldwide they probably got like 600 or 700 mil, right? And then the clothes, the endorsements, whoever has bought their shit, they have probably made like over 15 to almost $20 billion already. And the movies, they only made one movie so far.
Yeah,
that's not even counting Rebels.
Yeah, exactly. So like that's my whole point though. So like they have enough resources to do 8 the way it needs to be done. Yeah. If they don't do 8 the way it needs to be done,
us veterans would like it to be, and we just I don't want to feel like I'm watching an old movie. I know that one. You know, I don't want to be like what George. Yeah, I don't want to make it's not because it wasn't a remake. I'm not gonna call episode 7 a remake, but there were things that you did. It was like, dude, it's more plagiarism.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, dude, come on, you plagiarizing, man. Come on, please don't do that. Don't do that.
Well, I don't mean remake, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like,
to me, it was more plagiarizing, and to me, that's worse than remaking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because in remakes, you're doing it in good faith. When you're plagiarizing, you're just like straight up taking the words and just stealing it and calling it your own.
Yeah, true.
Let me ask you a question. Did you watch South Park?
Yeah, I watched South Park.
Did you see the newest episode?
No.
They came back. The first episode. You want to know what's hilarious about it? Because we're talking about this thing, and earlier this week I was pissed off about. When did I text you? Monday, Tuesday about it?
Yeah, it was
something like that.
Yeah.
Wednesday comes on. South Park comes on. The fucking most hilarious thing happened. They wanted, because of the football player that sat out on the national anthem. They were talking about that, and they thought that it was because of like, oh, the anthem doesn't hold up to his hype anymore. And then you know what they want to do is that we need to remake this song and have a new national anthem. And they opted out. I mean, not opted. They opted to say we need J.J. Abrams to redo the national anthem. So he agreed to it because they have him on there. So he agreed to making the national anthem. And when the national anthem played, guess what they heard? The exact same song.
That's messed up.
I was like, this is amazing. I recommend that you watch it when you get home or whenever you can. And that shit had me dying. I was like, and that's what I'm talking about. George Lucas is not, J.J. Abrams is not doing episode 8. But please, don't do what J.J. Abrams did or was forced to do.
Who's doing episode 8 again?
They got the guy that did the movie, I don't want to mix it up. The guy that made Godzilla, was this him? Yeah, I'll get to. I don't remember who it was. It was either the guy that is doing Godzilla, but I think he's doing Rogue One, or was it the guy that? You know what? We keep talking this bullshit, and all we gotta do is fucking go to IMDb and search to see who's doing it. But
yeah,
I think it was the guy that did Chronicle. No, it wasn't him. No, it wasn't him. It was We're looking, people. We're looking. We're going to save your life, and we're going to tell you who's directing. The director, yes, it was Rian Johnson. I did say his name right. I said his name right. Is Rian Johnson, and he directed Looper. That was the movie that he directed, which I thought was awesome. I love the movie Looper.
That was a good movie.
That actually, when I said, I was like, he's a great choice. So the guy that's doing Rogue One is the guy that made the remake to Godzilla. Apparently, the movie was good enough for him to be chosen, and I'm all right with that. That's fine. I'm sure he's got a great eye.
And he signed up to do episode 9?
No, the guy that they got for episode 9 is the guy that did Jurassic World. They're doing each movie with a different director. I hope that's a good idea.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That right. I do remember. They got Colin Trevorrow. I'm sorry if I butchered his name.
Oh, he's doing the screenplay. That's why he's listed on here.
Oh, he's probably one of the co-writers to segue up, just like J.J. Abrams. He kind of is helping segue from 7 to 8. You know, kind of like leaving it off to him when the time is right.
Episode 8. The story is by George Lucas.
No, it's not by him, but they have to put his name.
Oh, okay.
Because it's based off of his stuff. Even the cartoons, he has not, like in Rebels, he has not a lick on that. It'll say based on the story, because Star Wars came from him.
Well, Google's lying.
Yeah, it's like no, like they IMDb, the way they do it, like if you look at it, it says story. Like it'll say George Lucas story, but then underneath it will be like this person's screenplay.
Right.
This person, you know, because it's based off the story. Like they wouldn't have what they're doing if it wasn't for George Lucas. Hence why his name was on there. Even in episode 7, his name was on there, and he didn't even write, or even he was never there, you know, to see that. But you know, on the whole, I hope we kept it episode 8 relevant, mostly because I want to do a Star Wars thing, like the way I did the Rocky franchise. I want to do the Star Wars franchise, and I really want to get into every single part. I'm talking about 1 through 6, and also include 7. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does something now, and then you know, and we'll speak to it as a whole, or maybe we'll hold off on 7 and just do 1 through 6 and give it its due from our perspective, from our opinions and things like that, and how we feel about it, because that's what we did with the Rocky franchise. I broke it down and we spoke per movie, and then we moved on. Like we'll speak a little bit about part 1 and then move on to 2, 3, and so forth. So, but I think in closing, this is how I feel about episode 8. You know, after that article, you know, I hope Adam Driver was wrong. Maybe it was taken out of context. But in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say is they tricked me once with episode 7. You know, it being some kind of like plagiaristic remake. I did walk out of that theater saying, don't do it again. Please don't do it again. Give me a brand new movie. Please don't make me feel like I'm watching any Star Wars movies, because 1, 2, and 3 didn't make me feel like I was watching 4, 5, and 6 on any level. Not to me. You know, so you can't do that. You should not do that. You know, there are people out there, we are big enough fans of Star Wars. The people that are writing it are veterans and also new writers. The people that are directing it so far are new. But they're all Star Wars fans, because that's why they're doing this job. Yeah. That's why they were picked. So don't tell me that being a fan, that you don't, in your mind, don't got any cool ass stories that you could tell that could go into the Star Wars universe, because I do. I have it. Original ones too, not ones that make me feel like I'm watching any Star Wars movie. So that's me. You know, you got anything to add to that?
Yeah, they have the new Jedi Order series from the books. They could take plenty of ideas from them. Yeah. Plenty. It's the, you know, like, I don't know. I mean, episode 7. I don't want to knock. I'm not knocking
because I liked it.
Yeah. I don't want people out there thinking. I don't want people thinking out there that I hated it. I don't hate it at all. I thought it was really. It's
excellent.
Yeah, it's. I
just
love it.
Look, before you keep going, just to make clear, I bought the movie when it came out on Blu-ray, right?
Yeah, same here.
I'm buying it again because they're releasing it in 3D version, November. I'm buying it.
I'm very pissed off that they're even including it in the box set, like from 1 to 6.
They made 1 through 7 now?
Yeah.
They made a 1 through 7 box, but I don't want to buy it because I want to buy it when it's an actual trilogy, when they finish.
Yeah.
Personally, me, I don't think
it just kind of got me mad because I have that box set where it looks like a book, and you could just like it looks like an actual book. So and then I got that, and then all of a sudden Seven's right next to it. I'm like, come on.
But like, go ahead, man. Just close this shit out.
What do you mean close it?
Close it out, man, with this episode 8 shit. You got anything else to say?
No, that's it.
I'm
gonna save it for when we do the.
Let's boycott episode 8. No, I'm lying. I'm lying out of my ass.
I'm gonna save it for another Star Wars.
Yeah, when we do that franchise, and that's why I wanted to keep it just episode 8.
Yeah,
that's it. How I'm feeling about that news. And in the future, if there's anything that makes me feel emotional about it, I'm just going to make a podcast about it again. So be on the lookout, because when movie news come out, and if it's something that I want to see, if it's a good news, bad news, if I want to bring it up, I'll bring it up and I'll make a show out about it. Look at that. We spoke an hour and a half, roughly, about episode 8, and we haven't even talked about the franchise like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think, that's a wrap of a show.
Yep.
So here it is, man. You can look us up. Facebook.com/WhatTheHellPcast, Twitter.com /TheHellPcast, Instagram.com /WhatTheHellPcast. But do we got a YouTube account?
We do have a YouTube account.
Do you know what the YouTube account is? What do you put in the search engine?
I don't know. I have it subscribed.
Yeah, subscribe. But how do you find it? What are you gonna do to find it? What are you gonna type?
Shoot, I don't know.
You're gonna type "What the hell did we just watch?"
Yeah, but
search engine.
But other videos come up.
No, but if you type in the whole thing, the channel will come up.
Right.
I promise you, bro. I promise you. You type in "What the hell did we just watch?" and you're gonna see my pretty little logo. My pretty little logo will be on there on the subscription channel. Like it's gonna come up as a channel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we just took a selfie, and you're gonna see that come up very soon. So. Yeah, that's episode 8. Those are all the things. YouTube. We also got the SoundCloud. You can listen to us on SoundCloud.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. You just put in the search engine, "What the hell did we just watch?" Right in that search engine. You can put that up, and it'll come up. I swear, I promise. And you can subscribe to those too if you want. I don't know how you're listening to it. Maybe you want to listen to it on all apps and websites. Go ahead, man. I'm down with that. I like to keep you guys all entertained here. So, in closing, I think you have everything. Oh, I just wanted to mention one more thing. Guys, we at What the Hell Did We Just Watch, we have come away where we're going to make shirts. We made shirts. Guys, if you're interested, gals, if you're interested, any color, any size, male, female fit, youth fits, you just shoot an email at whatthehellpcast@yahoo.com. You just give us your name, the quantity, how many you want. The shirts are $15. If you want 2X or larger, they're $18. Just let me know, man. Like, we're selling them. And the first batch that we're making, they're going to be ready to ship on Friday, September 23rd. Is that the day that's Friday?
Yeah, 23rd.
Yeah, the 23rd. That is the deadline for the first batch. After the first batch, I will post again when we're doing another made to order, because that's the problem. That's the way that we're doing it. We're doing it made to order. So that way you get a nice fresh shirt, not, it's not processed like 100 times over. You get a shirt when you place the order, and you're going to get that shirt.
Silky shirt.
Nice silky shirt, baby.
You can rub your face all over it.
And
that
I promise
sounds
you,
creepy.
yeah. And I promise you that when it starts getting cold, because it's going to start getting cold very soon, we're in the mid-September, almost opening into October. And we're going to have some hoodies, some sweaters, things like that for you to wear for, when you're having those movie watching nights, what the hell did we just watch shirt, just represent a little bit the movie watching experience. And I think that's it now, right? I think we're going to let these people go home and go to sleep and or get out of their cars and start going to work. So, in closing, this is Lou, the Lumotional, Louis Vargas.
And this is the not so good looking John, but soon I will be good looking.
Woo! We'll get there, man.
Soon.
Maybe when we make the video.
Yeah,
when the podcast gets conceived into video.
Hopefully that they could be like, "Oh, you're a bullshit artist. You're lying.
You're a liar and you're ugly. False advertisement." But keep doing that podcast.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have you in a bag. If we go video, we might have to have you in a bag. If you end up not being not so good looking.
Yeah.
But that's enough of that, man. In closing, this is Lumotional Louis Vargas.
It's your boy John.
We out. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.